Welcome to Proper Talk. I'm your host, Paris Porter, and with me is
Nate the Truth,
and this is PT.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Proper Talk. In today's episode, we're going to get into some NBA previews.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to dissect two NBA teams on this particular episode.
All right.
We're going to look at the Miami Heat and the Minnesota Timberwolves.
All right.
Let's start with the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Okay.
Let's look at the state of the organization.
Okay.
Minnesota has had, what I believe, a pretty good 3 off seasons in a row.
Yes.
With acquiring Andrew Wiggins and a trade for Kevin Love, which looks like a win for Minnesota at this point.
Yes, it is.
Also, getting lucky and getting the #1 pick. Finally, after all the years of never getting the #1 pick, getting Karl-Anthony Towns.
That's right.
We know this year they drafted Chris
The Rookie
Dunn.
of the Year.
We know they had Zach LaVine also. They added him the same draft, 2014, when they added Andrew Wiggins. So let's look at their prospects.
Okay.
First and foremost, where are the Minnesota Timberwolves as an organization at this present time?
So I think at this time with under Coach Thibodeau,
They're in a good space.
yeah, they are, and they're, to me and how I preview them now, they're the most athletic team in the league. So with that said,
That's not an overstatement.
It's not. So I like what Thibodeau did with the Bulls organization, and when he's bringing it over to the Timberwolves, I believe, and what I want to see out of them is a defensive presence.
Oh, we know that.
You know, so
We know
hey, I mean that's going to be huge. Also, too, I like to see how they're going to work their athletic ability along with how they're going to work with Anthony right now.
Anthony, yeah, Karl-Anthony Towns.
So I like to see exactly what's going to come out of that, and I think it's going to be huge. I believe that the Wolves are going to be a competitive team out of the West. I really believe that.
And just to piggyback off some of the things you said, I definitely like what you said. First and foremost, we know Karl-Anthony Towns had the advantage of working with Kevin Garnett his last year.
That's right.
Garnett
That's
served as a pretty good mentor working with Towns. I think he showed Karl-Anthony Towns what this league is all about.
That's right.
So
that's right.
I think Towns, we know he's Rookie of the Year. We know his talent level. We know he gets a two-way defensive player, offensive player. I think we're going to see his development continue to grow.
Yes.
He's going to develop into one of the best players in the league.
That's right.
At this present time, though, I like Minnesota. I was also hitting off what you said again. I like the Tom Thibodeau hire.
Yes.
I am concerned again with the offense because we know why Chicago fired him because he couldn't get his players good shots.
Right.
In the crunch time.
Right.
I know he had to deal with injuries, etc. I do love Coach Tibbs as a coach.
Right.
Defensively, again, they're definitely going to get after it with the athleticism of Andrew Wiggins,
Right.
Zach LaVine. We know Karl-Anthony Towns played D. Gorgie Dane is a really good defensive player.
That's correct.
And then they're saying that Chris Dunn was the best defensive player in the draft. So it sounds like a team full of really good defensive players.
Right.
Ricky Rubio is not too bad of a defensive player. We know he can set up his teammates.
Right.
So they have some veterans as well. You know, as far as the organization, I think that this year they're supposed to make the playoffs.
Yes.
I think it's only so long you can hide behind a title of being a young team, being young players. At some point, you got to go get it.
Exactly.
Just because once you enter your name into that NBA draft, you're saying that you're ready to contribute at this level.
That's correct.
You got to go get it. If your skills are going to develop, sure, let them develop. But at this present time, you got to do something to make yourself worthy. You got to have something to bring to the table to contribute it. Right now, I think the time is now. If you have 2 #1 draft picks on your team, if you have a Chris Dunn, if you have all this talent collectively, Tom Thibodeau was brought in. He was paid a lot of money to be not only the coach but the general manager.
Yes.
I expect the Timberwolves to make the playoffs.
Right. And that expectation, I mean, to be honest with you, you are correct. Because again, given his track record, what he's did, and also too, he was a disciple under Doc Rivers, right? And the success under the Boston Celtics. So yeah, I do consider this to be okay. Timberwolves, you're back in the playoffs.
Okay.
And like you said, if they do not show up in the playoffs, that will be a disappointment. I'm looking at the West. The West isn't what it was. It isn't.
Let's be honest. So we know Durant jumped ship, went to Golden State that weekend. The Thunder. We know Westbrook's a great player, but that weekend.
He's going.
He can't do it by himself.
Oh man, and he's gonna have to at this point.
We know that the Dallas Mavericks is kind of on a downturn, in my opinion. I like some of the young players they have.
They do,
but they have to bring more talent in Dallas. So I'm looking at that's 2 teams that can possibly be out the West in the playoffs.
It is, right.
That's 2 possible teams.
That's correct.
Minnesota got to get one of those slots. Not to mention the other teams has also lost a little bit. Some of these young teams, it's time for them to emerge. Teams who've got these high draft picks, it's time for that to pay dividends at this point. Now, going forward, I think Minnesota has great flexibility. When you get cost-controlled players in the draft year in and year out, and you're not paying them $20, $30 million, but you're paying them $5, $6, $7, $8 million, that means you have more cap space to go get other veteran players. So I think if Minnesota is able to make some noise, at least come close to making the playoffs, maybe they can convince a Rudy Gay or another veteran to come down to Minnesota, come up to Minnesota and go get it.
We possibly see that mid-season, and that'll be a well placed jail piece for them to make that push.
Well, you got an asset within Ricky Rubio.
That's right.
It's all going to be predicated on how fast along Chris Dunn.
Right.
They said he's NBA ready. He wasn't a one and done player. He spent a few years in college, so Dunn's ready to go.
Right.
Hopefully.
You know who I want to see step up?
Who?
And the one who gave him Kobe Bryant gave him a lot of compliments and say, hey man, you know
Andrew Wiggins.
Andrew Wiggins, and he needs to be that go-to player. Like you said, I think what hindered the Bulls that they didn't have a go-to shooter.
They would call him the next LeBron when he came out.
But that's what I'm saying. And it has not panned out. So what I'm saying to Wiggins is he has to take that role. He has to step up. You understand what I'm saying?
I really like Wiggins' game.
I do.
Two-way player. I like him in the post. He uses his length extremely well. I like him a little bit more at the 2 than I do at the 3.
There you go.
That's true. But he's a really good player.
Right. He has to be the scorer.
And then
hands down, he has to.
Absolutely. And another thing to look for going forward is what Karl-Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins, that combination. Minnesota is supposed to develop it to a perennial championship contending
That's what I'm saying.
These pieces, but you got to. I'm looking at when we seen Durant and Westbrook come up. You've seen young players come up. It's time for these young boys.
There you have it.
Because you got the coaching staff, you got the other pieces. So
you have Dunn who can bring the ball up.
You do.
You have on the wing. You have Wiggins who's supposed to score.
You got Levine.
And you got Towns that can just clean it up.
You got Gordy Dane.
Right. So what's up?
You got even Shabazz Muhammad off the bench. They got a lot of talent here.
Hey, that's right. So let's get
And to conclude with Minnesota, let's look at the Miami Heat. I do want to get into Miami Heat before we conclude today. They've lost a lot.
The only thing that's heating up over there is this. They lost total. Coming into the season, if any of you NBA teams look at your schedule, you see the Miami Heat, just check one on the list. Say, okay, that's at least a win for us right there.
So you think Miami lost? I think they still got talent in place with re-signing Whiteside, and they got Goran Dragic. They drafted Justin Winslow. They signed Deion Waiters. They signed.
I understand.
Derek Williams. But I'm looking at what they lost. I mean, they lost D-Wade.
That's right.
All-Star Hall of Famer. He was still good for 17, 18 a game. Joe Johnson, another veteran player who know how to run it.
And
They lost some guys who can contribute to winning. And it's sounding like Bosh is out.
That's what I'm saying.
So they lost a lot. I think they out of the playoffs. I think they're definitely on a rebuilding mode.
Playoffs?
But I think they're going to be competitive. I think what we're going to now see is how good is Eric Spoelstra as a coach. And I watched the Miami Heat play when LeBron left. I started to develop more respect for Eric Spoelstra. I'll be honest.
No doubt.
I like his system. We know he want to get them corner threes off. We know he want to spread the floor. He want his bigs to shoot. That's why they brought in Derek Williams. We know they still got Josh McRoberts. We know the talent on the roster's there. If they're able to make the playoffs, I think we're going to have to look at Coach Spo for Coach of the Year.
Man, if they could, you're right. If they make the playoffs, man, I'll be extremely surprised. Now, I'm not saying it's not hard because the East is easily to be competitive and get into the.
And that's why I don't think it's as doom and gloom as you think. The reason why is because they kept Whiteside. He got his money. We're gonna see if he gonna kill.
Man, he a decent.
Well, he got his money.
Juggernaut.
We're gonna see if he gonna keep it up.
Yeah,
because when you get your money, you may not keep it up.
That's true.
I think that now that Wade's out and Dragic is going to be the primary ball handler, playmaker throughout the course of games, he will cater to what Coach Spo want to do on offense as far as getting guys open, probing the lane, getting layups.
I think Dragic when he came to Miami Heat. And he's probably thinking, man, I want to have talent when I get over there. And now he's probably looking like,
there's only one ball.
Right, but he's probably looking like, oh, man. Well, I left the Suns because...
Well, they gave him $18 million.
Yeah.
So they gave him franchise money, so he got to produce like an all-star player.
He has to.
And then we got to look at the development of one of my favorite players coming in, Justice Winslow, who helped the Dukies win their NCAA title. Yeah. I like Winslow's a two-way player. He definitely got to develop that jump shot. But we've seen him play really well in the playoffs last year. He can play a little bit of 4, he can play a little bit of 3, he can play a little bit of 2.
Okay.
Energetic up and down the floor.
Okay.
Also, Richardson emerged in the playoffs last year.
That's right. That's correct.
Another rookie, shooting guard, was just lights out from downtown. So, again, they got some young talent. I'm definitely going to have my eyes on the Miami Heat this year. It's looking like they're going to probably be done with Chris Bosh, which means future-wise, looking at their future, they're going to have flexibility with cap space going forward. And maybe they can lure another Pat Riley, maybe he can work his magic again. Again, with him, you know, I think me personally, I would be deterred if I was a star player. And I say you had LeBron, you had Wade. This is how you treated Wade.
Right.
He the one that brought LeBron and Bosh there. He the one that brought the championship. So I don't see the logic of going to play for Riley. But Riley is really good. He's been able to sway players. We've seen it. Again, I'm not going to bet against his history. Maybe he can get rid of Chris Bosh's salary. And bring
and acquire someone else, right?
And acquire a big time star to come down. Maybe it's Blake Griffin. We don't know. Maybe it's.
I don't think they need a Blake at this point over there. Do you think?
Well, they want to start. Hey, they said we take a star.
Put some bodies in the seats.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but you got to take impact players. you got to get guys who can kill. You know.
Right.
We figured it out.
Right,
you know?
and then with Blake, since you mentioned him, I mean, since he had a couple of injuries, he's not gonna be that high acrobatic, athletic.
I think he still got it.
He still has it, but it's gonna dwindle because that weighs on you, on your knees. So he has to, just like every other ball player, like Vince Carter back in the day, he was a high flying act man. He became a pure jump shooter and a good one.
It's interesting you said that because I've been reading reports out of the training camp, and Blake Griffin has stated that he stretched his shooting range out to the 3-point line. We know he improved his mid-range jump shot.
He has, and I noticed that, and I want to say kudos to that. Like, you know, he stepped up his game on that, and I love to see it.
And he's probably not leaving the Clippers. It doesn't make sense to, with all the money, and you stay with your team.
Plus, I think the Clippers can do it. I don't know why they keep coming up short, P, but
we're going to have to jump into the Clippers.
We do that in the next preview for them.
Let's conclude with Miami. I see them out of the playoffs, like you.
Yes.
I do. I'm going to say they're going to be a 9th seed. I'll say Miami is... you know, I give them 38 and 44. You know, I think they're gonna win some games, but I think
38 and 44. That's
even
pretty
in
good.
the East this year, I think you have to win at least 40, 42, 43 games to get in the playoffs. I think the East has improved, so I see them on the outside looking in. But again, it's not doom and gloom in Miami. They have a lot of young talent. They have a good mixture of veterans, so they're gonna be able to win ball games. And then again, Coach Eric Spoelstra, we're gonna see. Is he really a great coach? Did he deserve those 2 championships and those 3 final appearances, or 4 final appearances? Did he deserve that?
I think so. I mean, I believe he did.
All right.
It's hard to babysit talent.
Minnesota, I just want to get it on record. You wanna? Do you think they're gonna be a
playoffs? Most definitely, and if they do not, I'll be deeply disappointed.
I got them in the play. I say they're gonna be an 8th to 7th seed. I got them at 45 wins this year. I think that's what it's gonna take to get.
You know what? I would even say I want to see them at number 6. I want to see them 6 seeded.
So you think they should take that big of a leap?
Yes, and Andrew, step up because Karl Anthony Towns, you know he did. You got, you know, hey, step up,
step your game up.
Step up, and I'm telling you, you could be a 6th seed. Why not?
Okay. All right. Well. Tune in with our next episode. We're going to continue to break down NBA teams.
Oh, yeah.
Our next episode, we're going to be looking at the Los Angeles Lakers. They're a young crop. You know I'm a Laker fan. If I'm being biased, you need to call me out. So definitely tune in with us. We're going to be talking about the Lakers. We're also going to be talking about the Chicago Bulls. So we're going to break down the state of those 2 organizations. Again, please subscribe. Leave your comments. Hit the like button. Let us know what you think of today's episode. Me and Nate, it's been one with us. PT is over. Tune in. We got you.
All right.